What is up? How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Bending Ballistics Show. Today, we're going to talk about something a little bit different, and this is a new law that has gone into effect, and it may have implications on over the 80 lawsuits currently in litigation right now against Sig Sauer, and we're going to talk about it. So here we go. In a state known for its live free or die motto, a new law has been signed that has some people asking if one of the biggest companies in the firearms industry is going to be given a legal free pass. New Hampshire, the state of the firearms giant Sig Sauer, has just enacted a new law designed to shield gun manufacturers from certain product liability lawsuits. This is a highly unusual move that is already being tested in court. It could change the landscape of litigation against firearm companies forever. New Hampshire Governor Kelly Annette, I believe is her name, her name, signed the bill in May of 2025 that makes it much harder to sue gun manufacturers and dealers for product liability claims. The new law specifically states that a gun company cannot be sued simply because the product is missing certain features that could prevent an unintentional discharge. These features include things such as, but not limited to, external mechanical safety, loaded chamber indicator, or a magazine disconnect safety. This law was written with one company in mind, Sig Sauer, and their popular Sig P320 pistol has been the subject of numerous lawsuits from across the country, with plaintiffs, many of them being law enforcement officers, alleging that the pistol can fire without the trigger even being pulled. The lawsuits often claim that the lack of external safety, which is an optional feature for the Sig P320, is a design defect. Supporters of the law, including the bill's sponsor and representatives from Sig Sauer, argued that the legislation was necessary to protect a major New Hampshire employer, Sig Sauer, that employs thousands of people in the state, and the company has claimed that these out-of-state lawsuits are going to drain their resources and threaten their business. They contend that lawsuits based on the absence of optional safety features are not a true product liability claim. They compare it to suing a car manufacturer because a vehicle doesn't come with air conditioning, arguing that the feature is not a defect. Critics of the law, however, are furious. They argue that this legislation creates a special exemption, quote unquote, for the gun industry that has never been granted to any other company in New Hampshire. They say that the law prioritizes corporate protection over the safety of its citizens and makes it virtually impossible for someone who is injured by an alleged design flaw to have their day in court. Opponents also point out that while the law doesn't affect the claims of a manufacturing defect, for example, if a gun is broke due to a faulty part, it does block a significant number of lawsuits against Sig Sauer. It essentially removes the key legal tool for victims and their lawyers to argue that the product's design as it's sold is inherently unsafe. The new law is already getting its first test in courts. Lawyers for Sig Sauer have already used the legislation and asked for a federal court to dismiss the case or transfer it out of New Hampshire. The plaintiffs' attorneys argued that the law should not apply to lawsuits that were filed before it was enacted. This legal battle will be crucial in the court's decision to determine how widely the law can be applied. The New Hampshire law represents a bold move to protect a major in-state company, but it also raises significant questions about corporate responsibility and access to justice. It's a legal shield for a manufacturer, but for many, it's a direct blow to the rights of those who have been injured or hurt by defects with the Sig P320. So, it's an interesting law coming out of New Hampshire. Do you feel like Sig Sauer bought their way into this law? Do you think that Sig Sauer bought politicians for this law. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. I have my own thoughts on it. Find it very interesting that there's over 80 lawsuits against Sig Sauer right now for a faulty pistol that discharges on its own. And then this law gets enacted. It's very interesting. But let me know what you think down below. Until next time, everybody, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, everybody, I'll see you later. Bye.